Dimensions are used to fully define our sizing and location of our sketches or designs. So starting where we ended off on our previous design here, we have a fairly simple sketch with a number of good constraints on it, but I haven't really given any dimensions yet or told it what size it should be. And defining dimensions in Shapr3D, again, very nice and easy, user-friendly. I can simply just tap to select a line as an example here. And notice that currently it looks like the dimension is 40 millimeters. I can tap on that dimension if I'd like to change it. Maybe in this case, I'd like to define a distance dimension of 35 millimeters. And then I can just tap on the green check to finish that off. So now I've defined this dimension of my bottom horizontal line here to be 35 millimeters. Similarly, I can tap to select an arc and define the radius of that arc. Currently, it looks like it's somewhere around 19 millimeters. Again, I'll tap on that dimension to change it, maybe let's say to exactly 20 millimeter radius. Tap the green check. And now I see my 20 millimeter radius coming in. And I can tap and move around any of these dimension values as well, just to kind of clean up my sketch. In a very similar way, if you'd like to dimension an angle between two lines, I can just tap to select the two lines, and now I have an angle dimension coming in. Just the same, I can tap on that angle dimension, and I'll set this angle to maybe be 120 degrees. Tap the green check, and I see that dimension locked in as well. I also have the ability not just to create dimensions for specific lines, arcs, or angles, but even between points. So say, for example, I want to dimension from my corner point at the origin there to the center point of my circle. I can create a dimension from those 2 points as well. Now, to define this dimension, again, just the same, I can tap on that dimension to further define it. And notice at the top here, I have 3 different options. I have absolute, so that would be the absolute distance between those 2 points. And I also have the horizontal distance between the 2 points and the vertical distance between the 2 points. So in this case, maybe I'd like the vertical distance between my bottom left-hand corner and the center point of my circle to be, let's say, 50 millimeters or so, and tap the green check. And now I see that vertical distance coming in as well. So now, it looks like I've fully defined this sketch with a number of constraints and dimensions. So this means that every portion of the sketch has been fully constrained, fully defined, and fully dimensioned. So if I was to try to make any edits by, let's just say, tapping to select any point or line, and if I try to make any changes to it now, notice that it's not changing as it's been fully defined. Of course, if I'd like to make changes or edits, I can just delete some of these constraints or redo and edit any dimensions or constraints as needed. Now we've learned the 2 core building blocks for any great sketches are constraints and dimensions. And now that we have a good understanding on creating a somewhat simple sketch here, in the next lesson we're going to take a look at putting this all together and creating an even more complicated sketch.